You too.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this morning. Beautiful morning, and it's going to get even warmer today, which is good. So thank you all for joining us this morning. I'd like to first start by thanking our hosts, Omni here, Patrick, Kylie, and the team. Thank you so much for hosting us, and for the residents who've come out today. Wonderful to see you, and it's a beautiful morning. Thank you to Mayor Henderson for being here today. I see a number of staff from Cobourg, for Warden Bob Crate from County of Northumberland for being with us today. I greatly appreciate everyone. Today's exciting announcement marks another milestone in our government's commitment to modernizing long-term care in our community and across the province of Ontario. We're working around the clock to create modern, safe spaces where our loved ones receive the quantity and quality of care that they deserve. We know that the province inherited a substantial deficit in terms of long-term care spaces from the previous government, where very few new spaces were created for our loved ones. To give you an idea of how many new and improved beds we need, consider that today, in March 2021, the province of Ontario is embarked on 20,257 new beds today in the province of Ontario, and 15,918 upgraded beds. Gives you a sort of picture of the staggering investment that's needed to meet the needs of our loved ones, not just today, but for tomorrow. Of course, COVID-19 has further highlighted the urgent need for development of long-term care spaces in Ontario. Our government has always understood the need to meet this head on, and boy do we ever need to meet it head on. And that's why today I'm really excited to announce that Omni Healthcare is being allocated 133 new spaces and 59 upgraded spaces to create a brand new 192 bed home through the construction of a brand new build right here in Cobourg. So this is great news for our community. It's part of our government's historic commitment to develop over 30,000 new spaces and upgraded spaces in the province of Ontario. And this project, coupled with new spaces at Golden Plough Lodge, which we just broke ground on with the brand new accelerated build, and Southbridge Care in Port Hope, just to name a few, are among the largest long-term investment in this region's history. So just to repeat, this cumulatively marks the largest investment in long-term care spaces in our region's history. We're continuing to take decisive action, and we so desperately need to invest in these new spaces. As our loved ones age, and I think back to my time when I worked at CART magazine and to looking after loved ones, our needs are changing. People are living longer, people's needs are growing. There's increasing acuity of care, complexity of care. But we owe it to the people who built this country, to our loved ones, to our seniors, to provide them with compassionate care, to provide them with the dignity of high quality of care, with the right number of hours they need. And now, of course, the government's also worked collaboratively. We know we've heard calls from the opposition too, and in times like this of a pandemic, it behooves us at all levels of government to work together. And so that's why we made a commitment for 4 hours of direct care, which will make Ontario a leader in the province, in the Federation of Canada. To do that, we've unlocked hiring over 27,000 healthcare professionals, many of which we've seen here locally with the accelerated PSW program at Loyalist, Fleming, and Durham, just to name some of the few local colleges that will be training PSWs. And of course our RPNs and RNs and everybody, medical directors, administrators, and everyone that goes towards looking after our loved ones, that gives of their time. Thank you. Thank you for what you do today and every day for our loved ones in the province of Ontario. So with that, I really thank you all for taking the time to join us today, and I'm going to turn things over to Patrick, who I know has a few things to say. Patrick, thanks for being with us today.
Okay, well, thank you, MPP Piccini.
Kylie and I are pleased to both be here today to join our MPP for Northumberland, Peterborough South, Warden Crate, Mayor Henderson, in celebrating the government's announcement of 192 beds for Cobourg, a significant investment, and that includes the transfer and redevelopment of Streamway Villa, the 59 beds that you see behind us, which have been here since 1977. We've had a proud history in this community, and we want to continue on with that history of care. We're proud of the staff we have here, and we look forward to our residents being in quarters that are more spacious and more geared towards modern needs. So we're really pleased with this investment right here in Cobourg. I want to thank Premier Ford, Minister Fullerton for making this important investment, and MPP Piccini for the advocacy he's done. Believe me, there's a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into this award, and families in the Cobourg area know about the much needed beds are required to keep pace really with today's needs and with the growing senior population in this area. So this redevelopment is also part of redevelopment and modernization across Ontario that's going on right now, that the government has instituted and begun, and we're proud to participate in that. We have actually 3 homes right now that are under construction and into construction, including Norwood, which was in MPP Piccini's riding as well. And we have 3 others that are in the final design phases, and now with this development we can move forward with the new long-term care home for Cobourg and area. I would like to now just welcome Northumberland County Warden Bob Crate to the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patrick. It's a pleasure to be here today on behalf of the County Council to celebrate this wonderful news. Northumberland has a growing senior population and a lengthy wait list for long-term accommodation, and this demand is expected to increase in the coming years. An expanded 192-bed home will increase access to long-term care and address some of the associated pressures in our local health care system. Provincial investment in long-term care projects like this one, along with Northumberland County's Golden Plough Lodge redevelopment, reflect a commitment to making long-term care available to people where they need it and when they need it, in their own communities where they can remain close to friends, family, and in familiar settings. The COVID-19 pandemic has further reinforced for updated long-term care spaces for our seniors. Modern facilities like this one, announced today, designed to meet the latest standards, are important signs of progress for ensuring safe, comfortable, long-term care arrangements for seniors in our community. I'd like to commend MPP Piccini for his advocacy in this project. As Patrick said, the amount of work that goes into getting the support that's needed is immense, and we appreciate it. I'd also like to recognize Patrick and the Omni Healthcare team, along with Kylie and the Streamway Villa team, for all their work up to now and moving forward to get the doors of this new facility open in order to serve more seniors from Cobourg and across Northumberland. Thank you.
Thanks very much. I'd now like to ask Mayor Henderson to come up and say a few words on the importance of this new facility for the town of Cobourg. Thank you, Mayor Henderson.
Well, first of all, good morning. It's a wonderful morning because I can see right here the sunshine's shining on all of us at this very moment. I'd like to extend my greetings on behalf of the town of Cobourg to David Piccini, MPP for Northumberland County and Peterborough South, Bob Crate, who is our warden of Northumberland County, to our special guest Patrick, CO, my first time meeting, but congratulations on the healthcare, Kylie, and again, all Streamway Villa administrator and staff, and our very special guests who make this their home, because I read your mission statement and indicated we care about people first, and this is certainly demonstrated. Today, Cobourg is not only known as the Ontario Feel-Good Town, but a town that truly supports and cherishes our senior population. Today I stand before you in support of the Ontario government's historic, and I think David alluded to this, it is a historic investment in 80 new long-term care projects, including one right here in Cobourg that will see 133 new and 59 upgraded long-term care spaces, with the construction and a total of 192 bed home right here, right on this site in the town of Cobourg. As we navigate the many hurdles of today's world that we live in, I want to again commend the province of Ontario for helping us to keep all seniors cared for, loved for, and accommodated for within our beloved community. And for that, again, I thank the senior management as well, and Premier Ford, Minister Fullerton, and her agency. This is, again, a historic moment for Cobourg, and I couldn't be more proud because, again, as Bob Crate indicated, we not only have a magnificent build on this site, we also have one with the GPL, and of course, with that goes the historic museum and archive project as well. If you add it together, it's well in excess, I believe, of, I'll guess at $120 million plus dollars. And that is significant. So thank you for having us here today. And David, again, thank you for all you've done.
Thanks very much, Mayor Henderson. I'd now like to ask Kylie to come up and say a few words, and just to underscore again that for places like this to be home, it requires a number of people and workers who are family for our loved ones here. And so Kylie, again, to you and the team, thank you for all that you do, and I'd like to turn it over to you. Thank you.
Good morning, actually. On behalf of Streamway Villa residents and their families, as well as our staff, I would like to thank the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Long-Term Care, and especially MPP David Piccini and our CEO, Pat McCarthy, for making this exciting and historic day possible. This year has presented so many challenges for the residents, the staff, and management of our long-term care home, but we have never wavered in our commitment to provide the highest standards of care to our residents. The new modern facility will have a significant impact and a positive impact on our residents, families, and especially our staff. The new home will allow us to continue to provide the highest standard of care that we are known for in the community, while also allowing us to easily incorporate new technologies and innovations into our practices. We cannot wait to have this new home, and we cannot wait to be one of the top facilities in this province. Again, thank you very much.
All right, that concludes formal portion for today. Again, thank you to everyone for coming out. This is going to be exciting. A brand new build for the staff and for the residents, and you deserve it. So I'm really excited, and I know we'll be excited to breaking ground very soon. So with that, any questions? This is great. Let off easy. Go ahead, sir.
When are you going to start building?
Actually, digging in the ground. There's a lot of work that has to be done with the design. It'll probably be next spring, is my estimate.
The next thing afterwards will move in.
About the next spring or fall. It's about a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yes.
So the question was, when will shovels be in the ground? Likely next spring, and I know at all levels of government we're moving quickly to make sure we can get those shovels in the ground and break ground on this exciting new build.
When do you
Sir, I'd like to tell you
anticipate
something.
having the new build?
If I may.
Sorry, go ahead.
When do you anticipate having the new build ready?
When do you anticipate having the new build ready?
So if break ground next spring, it would be a few months thereafter, I would imagine?
It's about 18 months to
18
build,
months, yeah.
of actual construction.
18 months after we break ground.
And can we,
I know 18 months, we're trying to shorten that timeline, but but the average is about 18 months across the province of Ontario, from when you break ground to when you're moving in and sitting back in the recliner in the comfort of your own room.
Can you tell us anything about the layout of the new building for residence room?
I can't. I mean, I know just at a very high level. Patrick can give you a better idea on what it's going to look like, but you know, certainly at a very high level across the province, the need, I think, you can all attest to the fact that we need new and modern spaces, and for staff to move about on their day-to-day, you know, that I understand many, at least locally, staff have come to me and said, Dave, the pressures of trying to meet the increasing complexities of the needs of the residents that we serve, to have new and modern spaces, to move from ward-style rooms to private and semi-private rooms has been a real focus of the government. But to give you a little idea on the sort of special look for this facility, I'll turn it over to Patrick. Hang on the hot seat here.
So the design takes some time, and what we do with our architect is bring the architect down with the preliminary design, and we meet with staff and the residents and families and get input. Basically, though, as David mentioned, the modern spaces eliminate 3 and 4 bed wards, so there'd be no more than 2 to a room, and there's well more than double the square footage per resident, if you look at it that way, than what you have in the current home. Hallways have more storage, so you don't have the complication of lifts and other things that are stored in the hallways. So it's much more spacious, and then it's built in 32 bed home areas, so that it's quieter home areas that are so it's like smaller communities that can all join together, but also have the quietness of the separate resident home areas. So those are the new standards, and also, you know, newer standards in regards to ventilation, air conditioning, and heating, and that sort of thing as well. So upgraded all the way around.
Multi-units, or did you single floor, multi-levels?
Oh, sorry, no, it would be, for 192 beds, it would be probably 3 floors. It is fairly typical of the design. Because you can imagine if you had 192 beds in 1 floor, it would be a long way from one end of the building to the other. We'd have to have roller skates for staff. So, thank you. And I think you had a question also earlier, did you?
I don't know when we'd be starting on this.
Well, we'll be starting right away on the design work and doing that sort of thing. We have work to do in regards to the land in terms of zoning and that sort of thing. But likely what we're suggesting is perhaps next spring would be when we go in the ground.
Okay,
Get the shovels out.
Another statement, I should say, for the longest time, we were older people built this community.
Yeah.
We thank the government to pay us back.
You got it. Yes.
Now.
Yes.
Yeah, just to underscore what he said, for those who didn't hear, that our seniors built this community, and honestly, don't think this isn't government. This is you. This is your tax dollars at work for you. And just to underscore, our province for too long, governments of all stripes sat back and didn't make the right investments for seniors, and it's long overdue. It is long overdue that we build new facilities. We have an aging population. I think to my grandparents who are no longer with us, but you know, it really started hitting me when my loved ones and our family were looking after them, and they built this country. I think I think to my grandparent, one who came from Italy and worked in steel factories, and another who grew up in a small fishing town in Newfoundland, and then did so much, and we really owe it to our seniors to give back. And again, this is your tax dollars at work. For you, for our loved ones, and for our seniors.
Back to Patrick again, if I could. Patrick, I guess it'd be the new design incorporates the bathroom between 2 units as such. Is that?
Yes. So the question was, where would you place washrooms in the? So in a private room, each private room would have a washroom, And then in a two-bed room, what we used to call semi, there would be a bathroom in between the two sides.
Would it be a married couple as such? How would that work as far as the bedroom?
So a married couple would have both beds on one side and have another space that would be a sitting area.
The other bedroom would be...
Like a sitting area.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so share that same space.
Sounds good.
So it gets complicated, but marriage always is. So.
After 66 years, I've been married, so I'll tell you all about it.
Any other questions? All right, well, again, thank you so much for being with us today, and again, to the staff and team here and everyone and residents, thank you for joining us and for all the work you do on an everyday basis. Have a great day and enjoy the beautiful weather, everyone.
Mayor Henderson, just wondering, it's an obvious question because of the name of the building. This won't be built here?
That's yet to be confirmed because we have to first see what site plan they're proposing. They have obviously, there could be a number of options. One could be very much, if I could give you the example of Foodland. As you know, Foodland has a site, but they're developing by tearing out one portion and starting to build. When that portion is built, then they'll tear out Foodland and build the other piece, and then it becomes a collective permanent site. So they have the option, they'll look at the option here with the planning department. Of course, what the difference is, I believe they said they've been here since 1977. However, planning principles have changed since 1997. Not far away we have the creek or stream. So the rules from 2021 are quite different than 1977. So in those deliberations, they'll certainly decide if this is the site that can be accommodated for that growth, or do they find another location within the town of Cobourg that's been supported that has less complications. And if that happened, then of course it would be up to on the CO to determine what would then be the next best use of this particular site. So all those decisions have yet to be made and submitted to the planning department.
Patrick, tell me, just obviously because of the name Streamway Villa and because of the press conference, we don't know where the building will be built at this point?
Correct. We haven't announced it yet. We still have some work to do in regards to with the city in terms of zoning and such matters, and so we're not making the announcement as to the specific location, but it won't be built on this site. It'll need a much larger site to accommodate 192 beds.
Okay.
Yeah.
What will happen to this site, or do you know?
Well, we don't know, but I think it isn't. The name comes Streamway from the fact that there's a stream running underneath, so it may have some limitations around development and that sort of thing. So we'll have to see really what comes of it in a couple of years, what the market says and what the city has to say as well.